Today on Good Morning Maine, the latest on Hurricane Lee and what Maine is doing to prepare for the storm's arrival.
Plus, an investigation is underway after a man was shot and killed by police in western Maine.
And law enforcement agencies are discussing ways to operate with less help from the Maine State Police. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us. We'll have those stories coming up, but first we'll get to the details on what everybody is talking about. And that, of course, is the approaching hurricane. And the good news is it looks like it's going to be downgraded to a tropical storm as it continues to progress into Maine later on tonight. It's still going to be a very strong storm, though, bringing heavy rains, very strong winds, and the potential for flooding, especially along the coast. If you live in western Maine and some areas like that, you're really not going to see a lot. You might see some rain from that. But the closer you get to the coast, the more fierce the storm is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get a first check of that forecast with Conrad Sapinski.
Thank you so much. Our first weather is brought to you by Dirt Road Acres, your #1 dispensary providing outstanding customer service and award-winning knowledge at affordable prices. All right, guys, another cooler start to the day today. 60s, that's what we've been starting out with. And now 40s and 50s are back. Some mid-50s by the coast. Here in town, some lower 50s up north, mid-50s sticking around. But later on, we're going to see near average temperatures today. For tomorrow, a little bit cooler, 60s, warmer by Sunday, and then we're sticking around near average into beginning to middle of next week. Other than that, we do have increasing clouds. This is the calm before the storm, folks. Get ready mainly by tomorrow. Wind speed wise, though, right now we are looking at a 5 to 10 mile per hour breeze. For tomorrow, though, things will look a lot more breezier. Later on this afternoon, we are looking at temperatures near 70 degrees, mostly cloudy skies for tonight. This is where it begins. The rain starts to move in. The winds will be picking up. Temperatures are going to be hovering close to 56 degrees. And then for tomorrow, this is the day where you really do not want to spend outdoors. Heavy rainfall at times, really gusty winds associated with Lee. Temperatures into those lower 60s, folks. So tomorrow definitely will be a day you just want to spend inside. Hour by hour forecast does show temperatures starting to rise, hovering in those upper 60s.
Well, as he said, this really is the calm before the storm. Governor Mills has declared a state of emergency as the state prepares for the arrival of Hurricane Lee. This is a live picture from the Rockland Breakwater, a very peaceful scene this morning, but it will be a very different situation at this time tomorrow. The hurricane has been downgraded to a Category 1 storm and is expected to continue to lose strength as it continues north, but it's still expected to pack very strong winds, large waves, and heavy rain, which could cause flooding and power outages. The governor's emergency proclamation authorizes the Maine Emergency Management Agency to activate and deploy all resources necessary to respond to the emergency. She has also requested President Biden issue an emergency disaster declaration to preemptively give Maine access to federal resources to also help respond to the emergency. The storm is expected to move into the area late tonight, and Mainers are urged to prepare for possible power outages and to stock up on supplies.
Maine's utility companies have been gearing up to respond to the storm as well, including Central Maine Power, which is preparing for the possibility of widespread outages due to the conditions Hurricane Lee could bring to Maine. According to CMP, the extremely wet summer we've had this year, paired with the high winds and heavy rain expected with Lee, could lead to some trees being uprooted and falling on power lines, causing outages. CMP is also concerned the heavy rain will lead to coastal flooding, which could also cause outages.
The big issue now is understanding the track. We currently have about 500 crews that are in Maine to assist. We're going to be pre-staging those tomorrow in order to respond to any power outages that could occur.
CMP reminds its customers to stay as far away from downed lines as possible. And if you see any, you should report them to your electric provider.
Northern Light Health is also in the midst of preparing for significant rainfall from the hurricane. Our Matthew Jaroncic with that side of the story.
Hurricane Lee is expected to make landfall in Maine on Saturday. Until then, Northern Light Health is making sure its hospitals are adequately prepared.
It includes things like ensuring generators are all tested, the fuel for the generators are topped off. We're stocking all locations with additional materials Friday afternoon in anticipation of a Saturday storm.
At the Northern Light Health Chinquette building in Brewer, the maintenance team spent part of Thursday cleaning out air vents.
If they're not kept clean and the scuppers here aren't kept clean for water to run, and it has to run up over the cage, builds up on the sides, you get water building up on your roof, hydraulic pressure, you can have leaks anywhere.
Regardless of what is thrown our way, we've got a pretty amazing team of problem solvers across the system that can react to changing events really on a moment's notice and help ensure patient safety and the continuity of care is maintained across the entirety of the system.
Doak says their teams work hard to prepare for these types of situations, so they'll be ready to serve patients throughout the duration of the storm.
We've been working very hard to ensure that our hospitals and all the various services that we offer will be here, they'll be open, they'll be safe, and they'll continue to deliver the very high quality care that we've been known for.
In Brewer, Matthew Juronsik, ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, members of the Coast Guard are also gearing up to respond to any situation Hurricane Lee may bring. BM2 Jared Taylor with Coast Guard Station Southwest Harbor tells us there are a number of protocols they follow during major weather events. Coast Guard members have been busy this week taking non-essential boats out of the water and gearing up for whatever the storm throws their way. He says they train throughout the year in order to stay mission ready for any emergency situation.
Ready to respond in any way that we need to, and take care of our local populace, if need be, and they find themselves in a distressed situation. Yes.
Well, Taylor reminds the public that hurricanes and tropical storms can be dangerous and even deadly, and urges everyone to stay off the water and away from shore.
The Maine Department of Transportation is also preparing for Saturday's storm. Director of Communications Paul Merrill says the organization will be ready to respond.
Our crews are ready. We're standing by. We've coordinated with MEMA. They know that we're there for whatever help they might need. We've gassed up the generators. We've sharpened the chainsaws. We have crews working and on standby Friday, Saturday, potentially Sunday. And we're going to be ready for whatever this storm throws our way.
Merrill expects the storm to have statewide implications. He says crews will be stationed at emergency centers in Augusta and will be working alongside MEMA to respond to any emergencies.
Well, some campers in Jonesport have also had their good time cut short as Hurricane Lee approaches. Folks at the Jonesport campground told us they've been asked to evacuate and are in the process of packing up. They're leaving the coast out of an abundance of caution as the storm trends eastward, but still threatens heavy rainfall and high winds. Campers told us the concern was that roads would be washed out and leave them stranded. All campgrounds in Acadia National Park will also close this morning. We're told there was a steady stream of people leaving the island yesterday with traffic backed up for miles.
The Attorney General's office continues to investigate a deadly police shooting in western Maine. A man accused of killing his brother was shot to death following a confrontation in Rangeley Plantation. A spokesperson says the state police major crimes unit had obtained a search warrant Wednesday after Shay McKenna was spotted carrying a firearm. That was a violation of his bail conditions. Detectives and the state police tactical team went into a location in Rangeley Plantation where McKenna was staying with plans to arrest him. The spokesperson says he suddenly exited a van where he was hiding, armed with a rifle and wearing a ballistic vest. That's when he was shot and killed by a state police trooper. The trooper is now on administrative leave, which is standard procedure while the Attorney General's office investigates. McKenna was out on bail for manslaughter charges following the shooting death of his 19-year-old brother in December of 2022. He was supposed to be arraigned on Monday, but did not show up.
Well, a 14-year-old boy accused of bringing a handgun to Westbrook High School is now charged with theft of a firearm and terrorizing. According to Westbrook police, at around 10 o'clock yesterday morning, a student told staff that another student had a gun on school grounds. That student was removed from class, and the school resource officer allegedly found the teen did in fact have an unloaded handgun. He was taken to the Westbrook Police Department and charged. The school was also put into lockout until the situation was resolved. The police chief is commending the student who reported the gun for speaking up and helping to keep his classmates safe.
A dump truck trying to avoid a car in Etna ended up hitting a mobile home instead yesterday afternoon. It happened on the Stagecoach Road a little after 4. The Penobscot County Sheriff's Office says the car was pulling out of the driveway and the driver didn't see the dump truck coming. They say the driver of the dump truck swerved to avoid the car but hit it anyways and took off a wheel before slamming into the mobile home. A wheel on the dump truck also came off. Luckily, there were no injuries. I'm glad to hear that.
Very close call indeed.
Yep. All right, the time now is 8:10. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, health officials are urging Mainers to receive a booster as COVID cases rise around the state. We'll have the details.
But first, another check of that weather forecast. Mostly cloudy today ahead of the storm. The highs today will be around 70 degrees. Tonight, rain and winds will be picking up as the storm moves into the area. Lows dropping down to the mid-50s. Tomorrow, a very stormy day indeed. Rain is likely, very strong winds and more, with a high near 62.
Who has the best kept secret in Penobscot County? We do! Welcome to Maple Lane Farms, a fifth-generation family farm that's committed to providing you with the best quality products. Our farm-raised local and sustainable meat is flash frozen to lock in the freshness and natural flavors. Experience the top-notch quality of our meat that's naturally raised without any antibiotics or hormones. Get the best of both worlds, quality and affordability. Try Maple Lane Farms today, the candy store for the carnivore.
If you are in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, or Maine, you can get a deal at the Toyota 5-State Sales Event with thousands of new vehicles available from the longest-lasting brand, Toyota. Right now, you could save up to $1,700 with affordable 3.99% financing on an all-wheel drive RAV4. And every RAV4 comes with 2 years no-cost maintenance and more. The Toyota 5-State Sales Event at your New England Toyota dealer, your all-wheel drive headquarters. Toyota, let's go places.
Looking for your dream home? Contact the Next Homie today and see what's available right now. Sellers, get ready to get looped and get sold. With Next Home Experience, we have your buyers.
I'll go naked.
I bet you will.
The fun in a game of words.
Flip-flop, cougar, Little Caesars.
Ah, sounds like a Tuesday for me.
Is choosing wisely.
I hope they know what it is, because we gotta take it. Want to try to win this thing, so I'll take Noogie.
25 words or less.
Knuckle head rub.
Noogie, you won the game, guys.
Weekdays at 9 on Fox 22.
Welcome back, everyone. Law enforcement agencies around the state met this week to address recent changes to partnerships between the state police and other departments. Our Doug Banks spoke with law enforcement officials in Washington County to learn more about the situation.
A long-standing partnership between Washington County Sheriff's Office and the Maine State Police has changed, with fewer state troopers accepting backup calls from the Sheriff's Office. A conference this week between law enforcement agencies from across the state aimed to start an open dialogue to address issues related to staffing and collaboration between agencies.
There was a lot of different ideas that were sent out, and we're all trying to look at it and try to narrow it up so to find something that's suitable for all of us.
But are police departments in Washington County being impacted? According to 2 department chiefs, the answer is no.
It really hasn't changed a lot for us. We're still working just like we did a year ago. The only difference is we're not seeing troopers handle calls when we're absent, when we don't have somebody on duty.
The Eastport Police Department shares that same sentiment. In a statement given by Eastport Police Chief Mark Emery, he says, "I don't think it's affecting Eastport PD as much as it is the Sheriff's Office. I don't want to speak on behalf of the other departments, but the offbeat hours are being covered primarily by Washington County sheriffs, where before, those were split between county sheriffs and state police. He concluded by saying that the Washington County sheriffs have always had our back.
We're trying to protect the people here in Washington County the best we can. With the change in law enforcement, any type of change down here, it's really hard on all of us. And to keep taxing the people to try to get more manpower is hard on them. And I'm responsible for their protection, and we're doing the best we can with what we've got.
In Machias, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Nearly 30,000 acres of land in Piscataquis County will be permanently protected. The Appalachian Mountain Club and the Conservation Fund teamed up to purchase the land known as Bernard Forest. AMC says it will bring fish habitat restoration efforts that threaten species such as native brook trout and endangered Atlantic salmon to waterways further south within the West Branch of the Pleasant River. AMC says it also intends to restore public access for recreation for the first time in nearly 20 years.
Like the rest of the nation, Maine has seen an increase in the amount of hospitalizations and deaths related to COVID-19 in recent weeks. 296 Mainers have died since the beginning of the year. However, Maine CDC Director Putheri Va says most of the people who have died have been people who are in their 80s. She says as of September 12th, hospitalizations are between 40 and 50 compared to hundreds at this time last year. As of this week, it is universally recommended for anyone over 6 months old to get the new 2023-24 COVID vaccine. Dr. Voss says she understands people are tired of COVID, but encourages people to take steps to protect themselves.
And so I still think, even though I know we are tired, that we are really in such a better place than before, just because we do have a better understanding and we actually have all these tools. And so it's more just like sharing that message of, look, we have new vaccines this fall for flu, for COVID. This is what you can continue to do to protect yourself.
The COVID vaccine will be available next week in most locations. It's covered by insurance too, and the vaccine is also available through the Health and Human Services Bridge program to adults who don't have insurance. No cost for them as well.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, the time now is 8:17. After the break, we'll check out how students and staff at Maine Maritime Academy are prepping for that hurricane.
Plus, the United Auto Workers Union has in fact decided to go on strike. We'll hear more about that historic situation as Good Morning Maine continues.
There's some things that go better together.
Burger and fries, soup and salad.
Thank you. Like your workplace benefits and retirement savings. With Voya, considering all your financial choices together can help you make smarter decisions for a more confident financial future.
Hey, it's Tandem Bicycle. You can't do that by yourself. Voya, well planned, well invested, well protected.
You should Angie that.
Angie what?
Angie that. It means connecting with skilled professionals for all your home projects, from repairs to renovations, so you can get the most out of your home. Get started today at Angie.com.
A tractor is a big piece of machinery, so you have to trust what your dealer's telling you is the right thing.
We're just trying to help you figure out what the best tool is to do the job that you've got in front of you.
United Ag and Turf customer experience has been great. I had to call the service department. I was able to get somebody come out. He even texted me later just to make sure everything was good the next day.
The sales process was very low pressure. We ended up with the tractor that we wanted. We've also ended up with the service that we needed.
We are United, your local John Deere dealer.
Hood milking you. It's why we do what we do. Day in and day out. Making milk you can trust, with no artificial growth hormones. So you can feel good about Hood.
From the land to the sea, Chase's Family Restaurant is the place to be.
Are you looking for a place to unwind after a long day?
Then come check out our Hideaway Lounge.
With a bar that's both upbeat and laid back. And it's the perfect atmosphere for anyone who wants to unwind after work.
Or kick it up for the weekends with daily drink specials and a full dinner menu.
You can fill up on a good time any night of the week.
Thank you for being a part of our family.
Here at Chase's Family Restaurant.
Maine Maritime Academy students are also taking steps to prepare for Hurricane Lee's potential landfall on Saturday. Our David Ledford brings us to the Castine docks for a closer look.
The Maine Maritime Academy waterfront is alive with activity in anticipation of Hurricane Lee's expected arrival this weekend. Students and faculty have been working for days to store boats, tie down loose gear, and secure vessels in Smith Cove.
We put our hurricane preparedness plan into motion on Tuesday. We ended up having to cancel just a few classes in order to give us time to put vessels away.
Students at the Academy are helping to lead the way in some of the preparations, using heavy machinery to haul in many of the boats moored in the harbor, and getting hands-on experience in the process.
What you see behind me is a travel lift, so the whole idea is that the boats are towed in, we pick them up and move them out of the way so that they're not going to sink. It helps open up the mooring field for residents here. They're also trying to get their boats out of the water.
We're also using this as an opportunity for training. They have a good opportunity to learn what heavy weather preparation is all about.
School staff say it's vital to remove the ships from the harbor to avoid any interruption in the students' education.
Every day we have classes on board those vessels, so we probably have 40 to 50 students out on the water every day using those sailing vessels. So if we have damages to those vessels, that could impact the educational courses that are held here.
The Academy will keep one ship in service throughout the storm to respond to on-the-water emergencies.
Addie Ray is a Coast Guard surplus vessel. That's kind of our go-to vessel in heavy weather.
As the Academy continues preparations, they're asking others to do the same.
If you have equipment in the water, you really need to prepare it or get it out.
In Castine, David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
It looks like a real crucial time will come around noon tomorrow when high tide is there. That's when the storm surge can be especially powerful, coming up to even rivers and streams and that sort of thing. So
right.
Be watching out for that. If we do lose power, by the way, we haven't mentioned this yet, but if you're going to use a generator or something like that, make sure it's outside in a nicely ventilated area. There have been cases before where people even run them in their garage, and the carbon monoxide can build up, and that can cause problems as well.
Yeah.
So just be careful out there. That's the name of the day, I guess.
Yeah, charge all your devices up beforehand. Yep. Maybe hit the grocery store, get some snacks.
Yeah.
You know, candles.
We know what to do. We've dealt with big storms here in May before. This won't be a monster, but certainly do need to take it seriously.
Yeah. All right, the time now is 8:22.
Let's get a full look at that forecast.
Our Maine weather today is brought to you by Dirt Road Acres, your #1 dispensary, providing outstanding customer service and award-winning knowledge at most affordable prices. All right, things are getting interesting, folks. We do have high surf advisories. Definitely hurricane watches that have been posted, tropical storm warnings here in town. This is associated with Hurricane Lee at the moment, but as it continues to move up north, it is going to be weakening most likely into a tropical storm as it's really passing by our area. Doesn't look like we'll get a landfall, but it is going to be very, very, very close to our region. For now, though, we do have increasing clouds associated with the Lee right now, still off sea just west of Bermuda. So didn't make a direct hit, was a skim very, very close to Bermuda. But as it continues to move up north, look how close it will be to our state. This right here is Machias, Bangor, and look at this. The track does show just east of town is where landfall is most likely possible. So the rain bands will be moving in late overnight tonight into those early morning hours tomorrow, and then it picks up in intensity throughout the day. There will be lots of rainfall, lots of heavy rainfall associated with those heavier bands, and as you can tell, the main part of the system is right about here, and it's going to continue to move up north. So it might make a direct hit here in our state or be very, very close within several miles of Maine. But quickly moving out, then by Sunday things will be improving, and by Monday it will be long gone. But before it moves out, we are looking at 2, 3, even 4 inches of rain in some spots. There will be localized even more inches of rain. For now, waves are starting to pick up 8 feet. This is the wave height so far just off the coast, 5 to 6 here, and it is going to continue to move up as Lee continues to make its way up north. Wave heights will be closer to even 20 feet in some spots, folks. Wind gusts are going to be insane. We're looking at over 50 mile per hour wind gusts arriving early Saturday morning. So late tonight into the morning hours tomorrow. So if you're waking up tomorrow, you have to be prepared by today. So by tomorrow, you will have a plan intact and just ready to go just in case things go downhill. For today, calm before the storm, temperatures around 70 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. For tonight, this is the beginning. Rain arrives, winds start to pick up, temperatures around 56. For tomorrow, 62 degrees, rain heavy at times, very windy though. That northeast wind will be gusting even over 50 miles per hour. Our extended forecast outlook does get better starting Sunday into Monday. Then lingering chances of rain showers not associated with the Lee Monday into Tuesday.
We didn't forget about the crumbs. We're just prolonging our time with every last bit of crispy, juicy tender.
Now, mix and match a McCrispy, Quarter Pounder with cheese, Big Mac, or 10-piece McNuggets. Buy one, get one for $1.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
If you are in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, or Maine, you could get a deal at the Toyota 5-state sales event with thousands of new vehicles available from the longest-lasting brand, Toyota. Right now, you could save up to $2,000 with affordable 3.99% financing on a 4-wheel drive Tacoma. And every Tacoma comes with 2 years no-cost maintenance and more. The Toyota 5-state sales event at your New England Toyota dealer, your all-wheel drive headquarters. Toyota, let's go places.
Mesothelioma is more than a ravaging illness. It is a disease that can ruin a family's finances and is never the victim's fault. The law offices of Joe Bornstein has been fighting and winning for Maine families for nearly 50 years, and we've collected over $500 million for injured Mainers. If you or a loved one is a victim of mesothelioma or asbestos-related lung cancer, call Joe today for a free case evaluation and to learn about your family's legal rights. Dial 207-CALL-JOE or online at joebornstein.com.
Our phones keep us constantly connected.
Please switch to airplane mode.
But what if they had a mode to help us actually connect? Introducing Us Mode, a mode that makes our phones less distracting, so we can focus on quality time. So the notifications we get are the ones that matter. So we're never distracted from what's most important. Visit US Cellular in-store or online to set up Us Mode for free, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, built for us.
We didn't forget about the crumbs. We're just prolonging our time with every last bit of crispy, juicy tender.
Now, mix and match a McCrispy, Quarter Pounder with cheese, Big Mac, or 10-piece McNuggets. Buy one, get one for $1.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Now to the historic coordinated strike against Detroit's big 3 auto companies all at once. Thousands of United Auto Worker Union members walked off the job in 3 states after failing to reach new labor deals with the Big 3 by midnight last night. The union's demands include pay raises and pension plans for newer hires. More now from ABC's Justin Finch.
We are the union! Overnight, the United Auto Workers Union launching a targeted strike, leaving their jobs and launching picket lines.
This is our generation's defining moment.
UAW President Shawn Fain announcing the union's first simultaneous work stoppage against Detroit's big 3 automakers. About 13,000 members began pickets at assembly plants for GM in Wentzville, Missouri, Stellantis in Toledo, Ohio, and Ford in Wayne, Michigan. The UAW not ruling out expanding its strike sites.
This strategy will keep the companies guessing.
The union fighting for higher wages and better benefits, including more paid time off, pensions for newer hires, and retiree pay raises.
We don't want a strike, but we also want a fair contract.
The UAW at an impasse with Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis, the Chrysler and Jeep automaker. Ford and GM only offering about half of the 40% pay raise the union is demanding. Ford CEO Jim Farley asked about his 40% pay increase since the last contract and workers' demands.
We are offering an incredible, unprecedented increase. All they want is for everyone to make $300,000. That's not sustainable.
Automakers say they're facing extraordinary financial pressures as they build electric and gas-powered vehicles, and fear labor costs could drive up vehicle prices above their foreign auto competitors. The White House confirming Thursday that President Biden has discussed the ongoing negotiations with the UAW president and the Big Three automakers leadership. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Thousands remain missing and rescue efforts continue in the wake of devastating floods in Libya, which has now claimed at least 11,000 lives. And the death toll is expected to keep rising, with more than 30,000 people displaced. Heavy rainfall resulted in catastrophic floods and the collapse of 2 dams on Sunday, leaving entire towns underwater. You can see the totality of the destruction here in this drone footage of the town of Derna, captured by Libya's Al Masar TV. The International Committee of Red Cross says Derna was nearly destroyed by a 22-foot wave. The North African country is currently ruled by 2 rival governments, with fighting and political instability hurting Libya's infrastructure. While some international aid is arriving, rescue efforts are hampered by the political situation in Libya.
Just horrible situation there. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, has been indicted on 3 federal firearms charges. The indictment accuses Hunter Biden of lying about his drug usage while purchasing a firearm back in 2018. The firearm charge was part of an earlier plea deal in the works with federal prosecutors. But that deal collapsed. That earlier deal also related to misdemeanor tax charges, and the special counsel could potentially still pursue those allegations. This indictment also coming as Speaker Kevin McCarthy directed the House to launch an impeachment inquiry into President Biden, alleging the president may have been involved in Hunter's business dealings. So we'll see what happens with that one.
All right, coming up on the second half of the newscast, a long-loved staple in the Machias community is closing its doors and is being purchased by another popular local restaurant.
We'll have the details as Good Morning Maine continues.
LiftMaster is the #1 professionally installed garage door opener. Can alert you if you left it open and let you close it from most anywhere in the world. And where's the best place to get your LiftMaster? From PDQ Door. PDQDoor.com. When you've experienced fire and smoke damage in your home, when pipes break and you have water everywhere, when you're concerned about your family's health because of mold, you need a friendly face to take care of it all. You need the friendly faces of Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. We're just a click or call away. Whatever life throws at you, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration is here for you. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories. We'll handle the rest. LiftMaster is the #1 professionally installed garage door opener. Can alert you if you left it open and let you close it from most anywhere in the world. And where's the best place to get your LiftMaster? From PDQ Door. PDQDoor.com.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is Friday, September 15th, 2023. Lost my voice for a second there. It's also Batman Day.
Cool.
Yeah.
This is a day to celebrate everybody's favorite caped crusader. The holiday was first observed in 2014 to celebrate Batman's 75th anniversary. It's a story that has fascinated audiences all around the globe who like the idea of an ordinary man who made it his mission to fight crime and injustice. Special merchandise and publications have been released on this day, but for most, it's just a day to celebrate this pop culture icon.
Might be a good weekend to watch some Batman flicks.
And you have plenty of options too. I love about the franchises, it hasn't gotten old, and they've been able to remake it over and over again in ways that are fascinating.
And every time they remake it, I'm like worried that it's going to ruin it, but it's a different way of telling the story, I guess.
Great way to put it. I agree.
I like it.
Yep.
All right, on this day in history, back in 1858, the first mail service began to the Pacific Coast after the government signed a contract with a stage company. It took 12 days for the mail to make the journey from Tipton, Missouri, all the way to San Francisco.
Doesn't seem that bad for the time.
Bad, yeah. A little over a week or so.
Yeah.
In 1965, 2 classic shows premiered on television, including Green Acres and Lost in Space. And in 1966, President Lyndon Johnson urged Congress to adopt gun control legislation after Charles Whitman's sniper attack from the University of Texas Observation Tower. 15 people were murdered before Whitman was also shot and killed by a police officer.
And in 1981, Sandra Day O'Connor was confirmed by the U.S. Senate to become the first woman to serve on the Supreme Court. Today's birthdays include actor Tommy Lee Jones, who is 77 today. Kind of fitting because that was, the photo right there on the screen is when he was in a Batman movie.
Yeah, he played Two-Face in that movie.
Yeah. Britain's Prince Harry turns 39, and former NFL quarterback Dan Marino is 62. I wouldn't know about him if it weren't for, I think a lot of people are in the same boat, but if it weren't for the Ace Ventura movie.
Yeah. Back to Batman, there was one Batman movie I didn't like. Didn't George Clooney play Batman too? Like once?
So.
That one was awful.
That might have been, that was one of those roles that people think, that's the one role we didn't like him in, because he's done a lot of good stuff.
I love George Clooney too. He does great stuff.
If you're a famous actor that's that famous, there's always got to be something that's just god awful.
He's just not Batman.
Right.
Anywho, let's talk about the weather. Big storm on the way. You hear anything about that?
Yeah, a little bit. It's kind of making me sleepy. All this storm talk, it's like, maybe, I'll just get tucked in.
There you go. Just take a nap. When you wake up, it'll all be done, maybe.
Oh, yeah, fingers crossed. Here's Conrad Zapitsky with the forecast.
Thank you so much. Our first weather is brought to you by Dirt Road Acres, your #1 dispensary providing outstanding customer service and award-winning knowledge at affordable prices. All right, guys, another cooler start to the day today. 60s, that's what we've been starting out with. And now 40s and 50s are back. Some mid-50s by the coast. Here in town, some lower 50s up north, mid-50s sticking around. But later on, we're going to see near average temperatures today. For tomorrow, a little bit cooler, 60s, warmer by Sunday, and then we're sticking around near average into beginning to middle of next week. Other than that, we do have increasing clouds. This is the calm before the storm, folks. Get ready mainly by tomorrow. Wind speed-wise, though, right now we are looking at a 5 to 10 mile per hour breeze. For tomorrow, though, things will look a lot more breezier. Later on this afternoon, we are looking at temperatures near 70 degrees, mostly cloudy skies for tonight. This is where it begins. The rain starts to move in. The winds will be picking up. Temperatures are going to be hovering close to 56 degrees. And then for tomorrow, this is the day where you really do not want to spend outdoors. Heavy rainfall at times, really gusty winds associated with the temperatures into those lower 60s, folks. So tomorrow definitely will be a day you just want to spend inside. Hour by hour forecast does show temperatures starting to rise, hovering in those upper 60s.
Thank you, Conrad. Well, a staple of the Machias community for more than 25 years is closing its doors soon. And a familiar name in the microbrew landscape is taking over. The Bluebird Ranch Family Restaurant, a go-to eatery located on Main Street in Machias, is closing its doors. They're selling to Mason's Brewing Company of Brewer. The owners say Mason's will be a tremendous asset to the Down East community, but they will miss many of the people they serve on a regular basis.
I didn't think that this would be as bittersweet as it is. I'm excited for what the next chapter of my life will be. But these people have become my family. The customers are, family, friends, and they're all very important to me.
Foss says that gift cards should be used by October 1st, but if they can't do so, contact Bethany Prout Foss, and she will make sure all those gift cards get honored.
We certainly wish them the best of luck, too. Always tough when they close down like a favorite place.
Yeah, very bittersweet, though. I know Mason's, they always have, or I think they have 2 locations already. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe just 1.
I know they have the place on the Brewer waterfront.
Of course. Yeah. I know they need a lot of seating, though, because they usually pack the place, too.
Yeah.
So I hope the transition goes well.
Yeah, good news for the folks down east. You're getting a good restaurant. They have really good food and pretty good beer, too.
Yeah, right? So. Right? That's one of my favorite parts. All right, still to come here this morning, Tyler Cruz will have the latest with sports. Plus, we have some folks from Versant Power coming in to give us a very cool live interactive display of what to do if you encounter a downed power line.
Don't touch them.
Don't, pretty much.
We'll be hearing that and more when we come back.
Comfy,
cozy, relaxing. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Max True Value Hardware in Unity is the best year-round option for all of your home improvement projects. Prepare your garden with compost and decorate your yard with flowers and mulch. We load material by the yard and also have a large variety of bag goods to choose from. Rakes, shovels, wheelbarrows, and garden carts. We have all the necessary yard tools to help you get the job done. Now is also a great time to paint your home and stain the deck or patio. We can help you complete the project with Easy Care Paint and Woodsman Stain. Max True Value Hardware. We take pride in serving our community. Let us know how we can help you today.
If you've been injured in an accident, get Maine's most recognized personal injury law firm working for you today. The law offices of Joe Bornstein, fighting and winning for injured Mainers for nearly 50 years. Selected best lawyers in America for personal injury. Recognized for professional excellence. With more than $500 million collected for injured Mainers and over 25,000 victories for Maine families. Call Joe for a free case evaluation and get the Bornstein Advantage.
Let's face it, getting training and experience is hard, but at Loring Job Corps, we can help. From certifications in automotive technology, obtaining your CDL, or learning building trades, we have you covered. Maybe you prefer joining the high-tech world of computer networking or cybersecurity. We have that as well. Don't delay, get in the driver's seat to your future today. And the best part, Loring Job Corps is free. Receive free training, free meals, and even free housing. Call or go to jobcorps.gov/Loring. Job Corps careers begin here.
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Packers, Falcons, or 49ers, touchdown! Rams, what a catch! It all kicks off Sunday on Fox.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. We are going to start with the big news out of Boston. The Red Sox on Thursday parting ways with Chief Baseball Officer Chaim Bloom after 4 seasons under his leadership. The team announcing the decision prior to Thursday's doubleheader against New York. The Sox heading into the night game currently 74-72, just 1 game ahead of the Yankees for last place in the division, as is evident by all of those empty seats earlier in the week. In 4 seasons under Chaim Bloom, the Red Sox have made the playoffs once, reaching the ALCS in 2021. And they finished in last place twice. Could be 3 times, depending on how this season ends. Red Sox president and CEO Sam Kennedy met with reporters after the announcement, saying their goal is to win championships and that it was time for the team to move in a new direction.
We need to be competitive. We need to be playing for a postseason spot, playing meaningful games in September and playing baseball in October. Those are the expectations. And we're going to not rest until we're back at that stage. We own this. Look, this is a really painful day for a lot of reasons.
He's truthful in that they're not going to rest. Now let's hit the high school soccer pitch. Bangor girls soccer is off to a hot start so far with a bunch of rising stars and a brand new head coach. And as our Ryan Sudol reports, the Rams are the most confident they have been in years.
I think people are going to underestimate us this year, but this is the best the team's been in the 4 years I've been on varsity.
Bangor girls soccer is certainly living up to that hype thus far. The Rams are 4-0 this year and in convincing fashion.
I think our intensity is just there this year. We definitely have the mindset to make it all the way. I think that's been the big thing in previous years, just our mindset.
The Rams have scored a staggering 19 goals this year. That's nearly 5 goals a game. But unlike many teams, it's not one superstar carrying the load.
It's about passing and creating a good opportunity, so I think that's giving us a lot of success in the offensive third.
On the other end, the Rams have allowed just 2 goals, made even more impressive by the fact that their line is made up of mostly underclassmen.
We've been doing a good job in practice, just working on strengthening up our back line, working together to really compact and get the ball out when we need to.
And their starting goalie, Ava Coombs, is not too shabby either.
She's really been working on her punts, working with us as well. We feel confident being able to pass back to her, which is really a big part of the game.
And the one at the helm, a first-year head coach with no prior high school soccer coaching experience. Bangor head girls basketball coach Jay Kemble.
He brought a very positive attitude to the team. He's amazing, and he just brings a fun energy. Everyone wants to do well for him.
To all the doubters, Kemble wants you to know that having the highest IQ about the sport you're coaching is not all that makes a good coach.
Coaching's coaching. Trying to understand kids and work with kids and motivating them is really the important thing, you know.
The Rams haven't won a regional title since 2015, and the team is dead set on that goal and maybe even further. But to reach it, Kemble says it's less about their talent and more about togetherness.
When the big picture is done, you know, the kids have learned to grow together, to work together, and if anything, that's going to be the thing that does get us over that hump.
In Bangor, I'm Ryan Sudol, ABC 7, Fox 22 Sports.
Thanks for that, Ryan. Let's move on now to some high school golf. We're hitting the links. Herman and Hamden Academy paying a visit to Old Town on Thursday for a tri-match with the Coyotes. It's a beautiful afternoon up at Hidden Meadows Golf Course. We're going to go to hole 8. Herman freshman Ryder Wharton from just off the green. A great putt from that distance. He would clean that one up for par and finish with a 51. Off the tee at 8, his teammate Edgar LeClaire is going to stick this one on the dance floor. That is a green in regulation. Let's move on to the 9th hole now. Hamden Sawyer Worcester from about 15 feet out. He nails it for par. He would finish with a 52. And then finally, it's Old Town's Nate Baker on the 2nd hole. What a shot right up to the hole. He's going to roll that within a couple of feet to finish the job. He would shoot a 43. And then here are those match results. Herman in 3rd with a 215. Old Town in 2nd at 180. Hamden Academy scoring 169 to remain unbeaten on the year. Eli Vine for Hamden, the match's low scorer with 39. Let's check out some other scores from around the area now. Edward Little over Skowhegan in Class A boys soccer 4-3. Bangor over John Baptist in girls soccer, so the Rams improved to 5-0. That's 7-2. That score, Penobscot Valley drawing with Hodgdon in Class D, and in Class D girls, Penobscot Valley over Mattanockcook 2-0. All right, let's head back down to Mass now. On Sunday night, the Patriots will play their first in-division game of the season when they host the Miami Dolphins at Gillette Stadium. That game set for Sunday Night Football on NBC for the Dolphins. It was a great showing week 1. They're 1-0 after the win against the Chargers, where quarterback Tua Tagovailoa threw for over 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, albeit against the Chargers defense that isn't so strong. The Patriots, meanwhile, coming off of a loss to Philly, they're looking to avoid going 0-2 for the first time since 2001. They looked good in week 1 against the Eagles, but they say there is no moral victories in football, just a lot of things to improve on.
You know, enjoy the win if you win and then learn from the loss if you lose. So just trying to get better at those things, apply those things this week in practice, and then move on to a really good team.
No matter what, you're always critical with yourself, good or bad. If you're a competitive person, right, you gotta have that self-awareness, right? And it's never good enough. And even when you win, there's going to be plays that weren't good enough.
Got a big game coming up in week 2 past. That's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Are you fed up with high prices at the pump? Do monthly utility bills drain your wallet?
If you're nodding your head yes, Renewal by Andersen is your best solution. They custom build and install weather-tight replacement windows and back them with a generous, fully transferable limited warranty.
Call now to schedule your free design consultation. Plus, take advantage of this limited time offer with incredible savings and attractive financing.
The better way to a better window. Renewal by
Honey, where's the countertop?
I sent it out to the granite shop this morning to be replaced.
Wow.
The quickest turnaround in the business, the Granite Shop in Sedgwick.
W.A. Bean & Sons has long been a staple in the households, restaurants, and grocery stores throughout Maine, taking pride in the fact that we put a Maine-made product on the dinner tables of Maine residents from Fort Kent to Kittery. W.A. Bean & Sons retail store in Bangor is just minutes from the Broadway exit of I-95 in the Beaumark Industrial Park and at your local supermarkets. Quality Maine products made by Maine people since 1860. From our family to yours, W.A. Bean & Sons.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. I'm here with Angela Priest. She is the Safety Education Specialist for Versant Power, and she's here to show us a demonstration of Power Town. This is an electrical safety demonstration that she brings to schools. Angela, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So I'm really excited. This is something that you bring to schools to show, I mean, safety for electricity. But, you know, what does this do?
Sure. So what I'm doing is we've created a safety education program that is in line with the Maine state standards for the next gen science standards.
Oh, cool.
So my primary population is 4th grade. However, I can go to all grades, and we're also doing fire departments, first responders, so that they can be trained on electrical safety and how to respond to emergency events. So this town comes and I'm able to demonstrate some electrical hazards in a safe manner, obviously. And I come into the schools and teach the kids all about what to look out for, how to be safe around it, what to do if they encounter down lines. And this gets to really hammer it home by showing them a good visual.
Yeah, you never know when you may be in that situation. And this is something that people can sign up for, right?
Absolutely. We have a new website that they're able to go on and schedule a presentation. It takes about 45 minutes. I need about 15 to set up.
Okay.
And apart from that, it's pretty smooth. For first responders, it's about a 2-hour training because it's a lot more in depth.
Right.
But for schools, it's about 45 minutes.
Sounds amazingly worthwhile. Can we dive in and kind of see a hint of what it would be like?
Absolutely.
Cool.
All right.
And we'll have the link for sign up on our website, foxbangor.com, when we post this online.
All right, so what I'm going to demonstrate is I'm going to take this line, sorry.
Yeah.
This line down. I'm going to put it on this fence.
Okay.
So with this particular demonstration, my focus is about paying attention, looking up, looking around, looking down, being aware of our surroundings, right? Because we're really distracted these days.
Yeah.
So being aware of our surroundings. So in this example, the power line is down. This person doesn't recognize that the power line is down. They don't see it. And they come over and touch this fence.
Oh, wow.
And because that power line is down, the whole fence has become energized.
Yeah.
And so being aware of your surroundings and knowing what to look for is really important.
And that could kill this person.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep, for sure.
Can we get a demonstration with the car? I see it looks like you've zapped it a few times
before.
Can.
So in this demonstration, it's if there were a car pole accident and the line is down. So same thing with the fence, power line's down on the vehicle, then the vehicle becomes energized. So if someone were to come over.
Oh, wow. Yep. Wow. So just reaching for that handle on the car.
Absolutely. If you are someone that first on scene, you're not going to approach that vehicle. You're going to want to stay at least 30 feet away and try to communicate with the person that's in the vehicle.
Right.
And obviously call 911.
Yep.
And if you're in that vehicle, stay in it. If it's not smoking or on fire, stay in it. You're perfectly safe.
Okay. That was my major question. I know we have accidents like that all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I mean, you said that it's more in depth for first responders.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's the same thing though, because this makes me feel like a kid again, but it's informational.
Yeah. Absolutely, and it really gives you the visual. Because we can talk about electrical safety and to not touch lines, but we can really interact with it and show them different examples that make it more realistic than just something they're hearing about.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So I think we could talk about this all day, but what it really comes down to is that you can sign up for this. You can get a taste of this.
Absolutely.
And we will have a link for that on our website. Angela, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
It's been fun. We'll send it over to weather.
Our Maine weather today is brought to you by Dirt Road Acres, your #1 dispensary, providing outstanding customer service and award-winning knowledge at most affordable prices. All right, things are getting interesting, folks. We do have high surf advisories. Definitely hurricane watches that have been posted, tropical storm warnings here in town. This is associated with Hurricane Lee at the moment, but as it continues to move up north, it is going to be weakening most likely into a tropical storm as it's really passing by our area. Doesn't look like we'll get a landfall, but it is going to be very, very, very close to our region. For now, though, we do have increasing clouds associated with the Lee right now, still off sea just west of Bermuda. So didn't make a direct hit, was a skim very, very close to Bermuda. But as it continues to move up north, look how close it will be to our state. This right here is Machias, Bangor, and look at this. The track does show just east of town is where landfall is most likely possible. So the rain bands will be moving in late overnight tonight into those early morning hours tomorrow, and then it picks up in intensity throughout the day. There will be lots of rainfall, lots of heavy rainfall associated with those heavier bands, and as you can tell, the main part of the system is right about here, and it's going to continue to move up north. So it might make a direct hit here in our state or be very, very close within several miles of Maine. But quickly moving out, then by Sunday things will be improving, and by Monday it will be long gone. But before it moves out, we are looking at 2, 3, even 4 inches of rain in some spots. There will be localized even more inches of rain. For now, waves are starting to pick up 8 feet. This is the wave height so far just off the coast, 5 to 6 here, and it is going to continue to move up as Lee continues to make its way up north. Wave heights will be closer to even 20 feet in some spots, folks. Wind gusts are going to be insane. We're looking at over 50 mile per hour wind gusts arriving early Saturday morning. So late tonight into the morning hours tomorrow. So if you're waking up tomorrow, you have to be prepared by today. So by tomorrow, you will have a plan intact and just ready to go just in case things go downhill. For today, calm before the storm, temperatures around 70 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. For tonight, this is the beginning. Rain arrives, winds start to pick up, temperatures around 56. For tomorrow, 62 degrees, rain heavy at times, very windy though. That northeast wind will be gusting even over 50 miles per hour. Our extended forecast outlook does get better starting Sunday into Monday. Then lingering chances of rain showers not associated with the Lee Monday into Tuesday.
With Chevy Silverado and Silverado HD, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. With the power of up to 36,000 pounds of max available towing and the confidence of an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado for you. Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all Silverado 1500 pickups. Plus, get $750 cash allowance on this Silverado. Visit your main Chevy dealer.
There's some things that go better together, like your workplace benefits and retirement savings. With Voya, considering all your financial choices together can help you be better prepared for unexpected events.
Voya, well planned, well invested, well protected.
If you've been injured in an accident, get Maine's most recognized personal injury law firm working for you today. The law offices of Joe Bornstein, fighting and winning for injured Mainers for nearly 50 years. Selected best lawyers in America for personal injury, recognized for professional excellence. With more than $500 million collected for injured Mainers and over 25,000 victories for Maine families. Call Joe for a free case evaluation and get the Bornstein Advantage.
Come stop by Triple S Tack Shop, 315 Hamden Road, Carmel, for quality clothing and equestrian gear.
Only one question leads to life-changing money.
Is it real or is it snake oil?
Sniff out the scam and find the real product.
This show's crazy.
Snake Oil premieres Wednesday, September 27th on Fox.
a majestic sight off the coast of Orange County, California, as dolphins swim through bioluminescent waves. This phenomenon drawing in boats full of tourists. Bioluminescence is said to be caused by photosynthetic plankton blooms. One local whale watching guide says the phenomenon has been occurring more often lately as well.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Isn't that neat? I'd love to see that in person.
Yeah, it doesn't look real. Wow. Makes me kind of want to see some porpoises off the coast of Maine,
right?
too.
Yeah, maybe not this weekend, though. You'll want to take it easy as you're heading out and about tonight into tomorrow. Of course, we have the big storm on the way.
Yep.
We'll have crews out covering it, having updates on and off throughout the day.
Kind of unusual coverage for us.
Yeah.
You may not be used to seeing us at that time.
Right. The big part of it is tomorrow morning, so just be careful and use your common sense. You should be just fine, and we'll see you back here on Monday.
Yeah, all right. If you missed anything, head to foxbangor.com, and we hope you have a great day.